CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at your top stories of the day.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And a beautiful look outside. Just a few clouds today, and the best part is definitely the lower humidity. Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler says we're all good here in South Florida, but I know you're watching the tropics.
That's going to be the big story, I think, the rest of the week. Our weather's so calm and beautiful, so we'll keep our eyes out in the tropics right now, but nothing is a threat to South Florida. That's the way I'm going to start off with this. But we are expecting to see Tropical Storm Lee, probably named, coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon, so we'll be watching for that. Rapid intensification is expected. This is going to be probably a record setter, how fast this is going to strengthen. Record warm water, so it is going to be a Cat 4 hurricane by the time we get to Thursday. That's according to the Hurricane Center, but the track keeps it away from Florida at this point. So let's break it down for you. Here's the current track, 35-mile-per-hour winds. So at this point, it is a tropical depression, but because it's looking so strong out here, by Wednesday morning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, hurricane by Thursday morning, and look at this, a Cat 4 by Saturday morning, winds up to 140 miles per hour, and this is projected by Sunday morning, of course. The track, all the models are in agreement, so this is good. We've got so much going on this that the track is going to move to the west-northwest and then turn off to the north. And why is that? Ridge of high pressure to the north that's steering it right now. Once it gets this far away, there's another ridge to the north around Bermuda and a trough of low pressure, a little weakness coming out of the southeastern United States. So that should protect the southeastern coast and turn this thing and make it move to the north, and certainly that would be good news. The stronger they are, the more likely they are to turn to the north. So this is going to be a very strong hurricane. We're going to be watching it and tracking it all the way through the week. Temperature right now 90 degrees, but the high today so far has been 92, so it is hot, but are you even noticing it? Low relative humidity, so it feels like 96 degrees, but with that drier air. The dew points this afternoon in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and that's almost unheard of during the rainy season. So we're getting a nice treat this week. Beautiful conditions here in South Florida. The only place that really seeing any rain is down here in Key West. There are a few showers just off to the south and the west of the Key West area. Little shower activity is possible. We have an easterly flow, and it's a strong easterly flow. Winds are a little gusty this afternoon again. That's going to be the case all the way through tomorrow, and again on Thursday and Friday. The only place that we'll see any showers at all will be over the interior and the west coast. By this weekend, we'll start to see a little bit of a change. High pressure is so strong, that's going to move off into the Gulf of Mexico, and that'll open up a little corridor, more of a southeasterly flow, so that'll start to bring in a little bit more moisture starting mainly on Sunday and into next week, so our rain chances will go back to more normal for this time of the year. Very low rain chances Wednesday and Thursday. It's not going to rain. It'll be a dry day. Low humidity again. Gotta just love this kind of weather. So here's your forecast. Looking for highs in the lower 90s. Really not seeing anything warmer than that. Very low chances starting off Wednesday, Thursday, and then as we head into the weekend, again, we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures staying in the lower 90s.
Cindy, thank you. We are getting a look at disturbing surveillance video. A man was brutally pistol whipped in broad daylight in Deerfield Beach. This happened back on July 20th near the 100 block of West Hillsborough Boulevard. Investigators say the victim was walking down the sidewalk when they exchanged words with the attacker. That is when detectives say the suspect pulled out a gun and repeatedly started striking the victim. The suspect then stopped and walked back to the vehicle where he was handed a rifle. Suspect later took off. If you have any information, call BSO. Neighbors across Palm Beach and Okeechobee counties woke up to anti-Semitic flyers in their yards on Labor Day. About 100 small bags were filled with anti-Semitic rhetoric. Officials say the bags were thrown around between Sunday night and Monday morning. This incident comes a little more than a week before the start of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. A disturbing story. An 18-month-old toddler was shot and killed in Flagler County. Deputies found the young girl with a gunshot wound to the head. 8 people were inside the home at the time of the shooting, and that includes a 21-year-old who was arrested for violating probation. Police say he's the primary person of interest. Authorities say they found drugs in the house. Chaos at the Capitol. Ex-Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio is set to be sentenced to federal prison. He was convicted of seditious conspiracy for recruiting a group of about 200 that marched on the Capitol on that day. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry joins us live from Washington, D.C. So, Skylar, we know prosecutors here are asking for a 33-year sentence for Tarrio. Does the prosecution team think he'll receive that sentence?
Well, we'll see, Naja. Very good to see you. We are awaiting what comes down from the courthouse today in terms of sentencing for Tarrio, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility to follow what the judge has ordered in similar instances, especially since this judge has been over some of Tarrio's fellow Proud Boys case in the sense that they too were given harsh recommendations by prosecutors, and the judge cut that down by about half. Now, we're not talking about 2, 3, 5 years. We're talking about 18, 17, 15 years facing those who attacked the Capitol that day. But the prosecutors say that Tarrio was very much the leader of this group, and it's why he should be sentenced with the harshest and longest years in prison. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. We expect that decision to come down within the next few minutes or next few hours. That's happening right now. The defense is arguing that former President Trump should bear more of this blame in terms of what happened on January 6th that day, and that he's the one who called on his supporters to head towards the Capitol. They also say that Tarrio was not even in Washington, D.C. that day. Of course, he was ordered to stay away from the city for burning a Black Lives Matter flag a few days prior. And so a lot of back and forth here. I think there's another interesting point that we've noticed outside of the courtroom, or inside of the courtroom, in that there is talk of perhaps including what is referred to as a terror enhancement in these sentencing guidelines. Now, the judge in this case said that this is not the same sort of terror as someone blowing up a building, and so that it should be considered here. And that's usually the guidelines that he's referred to in the past in terms of cutting down the sentencing for those who are also charged with seditious conspiracy. But again, prosecutors feel as if Tarrio should receive the maximum amount of years that possibly can be served.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And of course, Tarrio, we've referenced, is a Miami native. Skylar, you just mentioned this, that 2 other Proud Boys were sentenced Friday to 18 and 10 years in federal prison. Was the prosecution pleased with that sentencing?
Well, certainly big swings. I think they want to make sure to let essentially the world know that what happened on January 6th cannot happen again. It's why they're calling for these sentencing years. It's why they're calling for these 30, 40, 35, 25-year sentences. Of course, the judge ultimately is the one who makes this decision, and to say whether it's fair or not, you know, I'll let them decide that. But I think this is why we're seeing the rhetoric that we are inside of the courtroom right now, and that they want to make sure what happened on January 6th never happens again. Tarrio, they say, has enough evidence. Obviously, he was convicted as such to be the leader of this Proud Boys group. And so now they want to make sure that, again, this never happens again, and they want to make sure that he at least gets 30 to 33 of those years served.
All right, Skylar, thank you. And of course, we will bring you the decision as soon as it comes down. When we come back, concern at Zoo Miami, why animal advocates strongly are against a planned development. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Could Zoo Miami property soon be home to a new water park? Miami-Dade County commissioners are set to vote on the issue tomorrow, but wildlife experts are strongly against it. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein has the report.
If they want to come after me, if they want to fire me over this, I leave with my head held high.
Ron McGill has spent the last 4 decades working at Zoo Miami. He is now coming forward as a private citizen. On Friday, he wrote a 2,500-word letter denouncing the nearly 2 decades-long Miami Wilds water park project on the county-owned zoo grounds.
Zoo Miami, critical habitat, Pine Rockland is not the right location.
The development site would be the parking lot spaces adjacent to the zoo. McGill wants the project terminated because he is concerned concerned about endangered wildlife in the protected Pine Rocklands ecosystem in the forest bordering the project's location.
All of these animals are connected to our general health. When you eliminate one of those links in the chain breaks, and you never know when that can become catastrophic.
Living in Pine Rockland includes the endangered Florida bonneted bat, the tiger beetle, and dozens of other imperiled species living in protected land. An executive summary reveals the National Park Service admitted most of the allegations and concedes they did not undertake the reviews required by federal law in the 2022 amended lease with Miami Wilds.
This is not a binary choice between water park and wildlife. We're confident that the wildlife will be protected.
Miami Wilds manager Paul Lambert showed us plans for the project, still waiting to break ground.
We've mitigated by shrinking the footprint of the project to just the parking area that you can see here. Funding from Miami Wilds, that it's going to funnel some of that funding into restoration of the forest, which is in very bad condition today.
Lambert insists Miami Wilds will not destroy existing natural spaces or green space, and he says the project itself will be a county economic driver.
It'll be among the top 10 employers in this part of Miami-Dade County.
I understand the value of a water park. There are other places in South Florida that it can be built.
A federal lawsuit is in the works right now. Now, it accuses the National Park Service of failing to protect endangered species after they released the land use restrictions on this site here. Well, despite that, the Miami-Dade Commission still plans to go ahead with that vote on the new lease agreement tomorrow. In Southwest Miami-Dade, Terry Hornstein, CBS News Miami.
Terry, thank you for that report. Well, CBS News Miami is giving you more opportunities to stay up to date on the latest news here in South Florida, and we are so excited about this. Starting tonight, join us on our sister station, TV 33. It is for our all-new show, CBS News Miami on TV 33. It is airing at 9 p.m. tonight. It lasts a full hour. Jim Barry and I will bring you the biggest stories of the day and make sure that you are ready for the day ahead. And next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler has you covered on what you can expect looking ahead with your forecast. You can also watch it every night on our Miami stream, cbsnewsmiami.com. The power of CBS News and the CBS News Miami stream are always at your fingertips. We're on Pluto TV, and the best part is it's all free. You can also find us on your favorite streaming device with the CBS News app. Then click CBS News Miami. That's your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami.